Now I'm going to go ahead and load a file that's got all the DirectX 9 shaders set up for me, so we can actually view what this normal map looks like. I've actually gone ahead and rendered out a 2K normal map and ambient occlusion map for this guy right here. So you can see, here's our daemon. Let's go down and get the shader. We've got our metal bump shader turned on. I'm just going to turn that off just so you can actually see what the real surface looks like. We can turn on edged faces. I'm just going to enable that again. So you can see there's quite a huge difference in the appearance of this daemon. Now, what you're seeing here in the viewport is actually the normal map and the ambient occlusion map kind of layered on top of one another. So what the ambient occlusion map is doing is giving me some nice dark shading, like for instance in the mouth here. It's kind of highlighting some of these textural pieces of the mesh. So by rendering out an ambient occlusion map, it really adds, when you get this into the game, it's really going to add some extra depth to your character without giving you this harsh directional lighting that doesn't really work in all situations. The ambient occlusion map is kind of a general filled in ambient light. So you can see that. Let's add a light to our scene down here. Set this intensity up a little bit. So let's actually make that white. I'm just going to move this light around so you can see how that normal map gets lit and shaded. Move this around here. We'll just pull this forward. You can see, when I zoom in on this, how that normal map is shading. Quite a stunning effect. Turn on those edged faces again just so you can see. There's the actual geometry that's in the scene. So this is what you use normal maps for. Creating the illusion of very high poly, high density surfaces, whether you're working in film or games or the web or TV. This is really going to help to bring down the overhead in your scenes, especially for extras that are in the background. You can render out normal maps and put those on your extras and get a lot of extra detail in your scene without getting a hit for it at render time. Having a bunch of 50,000 poly extras in your scene, you can just replace those with 2,000 poly extras and have the same level of detail in the background. In the foreground, what you're going to want to do is render out a height map in addition to that, and then you can use that height map or the displacement map. And again, just using a very simple mesh by applying that height map to it or that displacement map, and then using Mental Ray or Renderman or Brazil 2, you can get the micropoly subdivision displacement at render time and not have to pay for it.